Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to Supercruise News episode 44. I am Zac, one of the community managers here on Elite Dangerous at Frontier. I'm also joined by the wonderful Bruce Garrido. How are you doing today, Bruce?
Hey Zach, I'm very well, thank you, mate. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I missed Supercruise News. We had a week off. Supercruise News. We're back. It's good to see everyone in the chat. Back for another. They're almost. I almost find them sort of comfortable and cozy Supercruise News at this point. It's like my home in a sort of stream sphere, I guess. I like
Yeah,
it.
I know what you mean. It's that reliable, dependable friend that comes around every week or so.
Yeah, it's true.
I always look forward to these, especially when it's you and I, the old champions at CQC in particular. We've
Indeed.
got something going on over there. We might have some time for that at the end, but before all of that, we've got quite a few bits to share with you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh 07 to everyone in the chat. Do we want to call out some names, Zach?
Sure, yeah, we've got Giuseppe's World on YouTube. We've got Cryco on YouTube. On Twitch, we've got Sidewinder40. We've got Sapphire UK. Hello, hello. Anyone else, Bruce, that you want to shout out?
Oh 07 Commander Adam, oh 07 Tony Suffolk, Drinky Bird, Silent FR, welcome, hello everybody. Oh 07 to Radium, Ostrich, Netbreed. Too many names, not enough 07s. Well, 07s to all of you. I'm just going to give you a general 07. Thank you all for joining.
Yeah, and obviously thank you to all the mods that are in the chats as well. Greatly appreciated as always. Thank you for spending your time helping us out. Okay, so in terms of Supercruise news today, we've got some game information to share with you, and then we've got a bit of community stuff. We'll then go into the seller screenshots, and then if we've got some time, we'll have maybe a round or two of CQC because, as Bruce said, we are the reigning champions, and we always think it's fair to offer, the worst champions are the people that never offer a chance to be beaten. We like to offer the players a chance to take us down and really try and take the crown from us. But so far, it's not happened. So maybe there'll be a chance tonight, maybe not.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We usually do pretty well. I think it's time for us to stop being modest about it and just throw down the gauntlet. Because at this point, we've had a few whitewashes where we just go unbeaten, and honestly, that's not on. We need you guys, you lot, to do better than that. So maybe there'll be some time at the end.
Famous last words, celestial criminal. I mean, it's very likely, but we keep saying this, and then we still win. So we'll keep going. DJ Wiley says, "Where's Arf? Arf is working. He's very busy right now. He's probably. I mean, he may be watching the stream. He tends to jump in every now and again." Who else have we got? We got the birds. Hello. Science Keeper says you were modest until now. I mean, I don't think I've been very modest, but Bruce has been holding back a little bit. There's Arf. Arf is in the chat. Okay then, Bruce. Shall we stop postponing things? Should we get started?
Enough basking in our own glory. Time to move on to onto the news.
Okay. So update 6 is out. You've all been playing it. We've seen your feedback. Thank you very much for that. But it's time to start looking towards update 7, which is obviously the next update. So we've got a small tidbit, and what we want to do is to start, giving this information out ahead of time, if possible, where it makes sense more frequently. So we're just going to talk a little bit today at the start of this stream about the Apex redirect feature, which is still work in progress. Anything that we talk about today, anything that we might be able to show is all work in progress and subject to change because that's how development works. But we'll tell you how it is at the moment, and just it will likely turn out this way, but there's always a chance that these things change. Please remember we are working from home, so if everything crashes when I do the scene change, we'll be right back. Okay, so first of all, shout out to Carmen and the rest of the great UI team who have sent us some details and a couple of screenshots to show to the lovely commanders in the chat today. So big 07 to those guys. So Apex Redirect is pretty much, Bruce, what it says on the tin.
Good, nice and simple. I like that.
It's so let's picture a scenario, Bruce. Let's say, and this has happened to me many a time, that I'm at my station. I've picked up a mission, and my mission is, I'm going to go down to a settlement and maybe take some people out, or I want to steal something. And then I think, okay, I'm going to book my Apex, and then I get in my Apex shuttle, and I'm on the way to the settlement. And then I realized, Bruce, I didn't pick up any supplies. I didn't get any.
No.
I didn't get my med packs, my energy cells. I didn't get anything like that. So in the current build of the game, you are forced at that point to basically travel in shame to the settlement. And you can obviously find supplies in the settlement as you go, but you're not pre-prepared, right?
Right.
In this example, what you can do in this case is head to the little tab you see on the left-hand side of your panel. You'll have this little tab when you're in an Apex shuttle, and right at the bottom there, you'll see that you'll be able to redirect your shuttle. It's not a redirect of shame, as someone just called it. Longest loop of shame ever. It is a loop of shame if you don't redirect. I'll take that. But it oh yeah, Birthbits just points out that it says when they pass their exam, which I actually didn't notice until right now. If you look at the driver, Luke Hartsemi, you can see when they passed their exam to become an Apex driver, which is a pretty nice feature. I like that.
It's a nice touch. I'm just I'm just wondering what happens when you look over that screen. It says something, actually it doesn't say anything. Just there's no
past exam, not applicable.
That's when you start worrying.
Yeah. So you'd head over to your left-hand panel when you're in the shuttle, and you can either book a local redirect, so you could head back to the station, or you could send yourself somewhere else. Maybe another example is, hey, I wanted to go to this settlement. Oh, I chose the wrong one. It's actually this settlement that I need to go to first. Just redirect yourself over. I'm seeing a lot of people that are pretty happy about this as a nice quality of life change, which is good to see. Osric says it's funny, but it's the current date at the moment. They only just passed the refresh driver. Well, actually, they're not. They've been driving for over 1,000 years. So yeah, as we said, work in progress. These things are just going to change as we go.
Good old Luke.
NetBreach says
pretty good.
3021, surely.
1,000 years old?
3021. Yeah. It's not. It's even not. Why did I read that from Osric? It's not even the right date. It is not the 24th of July right now.
Mr. Hartsemi doesn't look a day over 100.
You just beat Zula Romeo to pretty much the same joke. So well done. No, you beat them. You beat them.
Great minds. Well done, Zulu.
Yeah. So
yes, this is nice. Because before, like you said, you'd have been forced, probably much like the average British person. And for some reason, I feel like Canadians are like the same. You're going to an interview and you've ordered an Uber or a taxi and you're on your way there and you realize you're in your pajamas and you're too embarrassed or don't want to be rude, too polite to say, actually, you know what, could you take me back and just charge me a little bit extra for the trip? But now you can do that. We're not forcing everyone to be that British. Obviously, commanders come from all places. So, now you can just tap them on the shoulder and say, excuse me, drop us off back at where we came from or to another station. So you notice there's another long distance button there as if you were ordering it from the beginning to a different system.
Yeah, I've got another screenshot that I'll show. This is just a map, and it's pretty much what it will do is when you select to redirect, it'll pretty much bring up the same map system that you would use if you were booking from the start point from the station. You will have to bear in mind taxi range, so the range will still be the same as what it was from the start point. So you can't just constantly redirect your Apex shuttle forever out into the black. There is still a range that that is locked in depending on the start point. And taxis are not free, Bruce. And I don't know about you, but taxis can be quite expensive, especially around here. So it's the same case. The same case in the. That's just me making a comment on the south of England. Just I
was going to say, I find that in Elite they're a lot more reasonable.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Than in the Cambridge area for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, they're not free. If you are redirecting, if you're doing it locally, you'll have to pay the Supercruise fee again. as a redirection fee. But if you do want to go to another system, you'll basically be charged in the exact same way that you would be charged if you were, booking that system to system travel from the start point. So it won't be anything too crazy, but just to bear in mind, it's not a free system to redirect. You have to have there's some sort of shame involved, Bruce, still, but it's a small fee compared to having to travel all the way to the settlement and then travel back. So that is a look at one of the features that are coming in Update 7. Obviously, there'll be more to come as we get closer to Update 7. But yeah, hope you liked that. Hope you think that's a good quality of life change. I've seen some of you say that. But as always, this is from your feedback. This is listening to things that you have suggested and things that you want to see in the game. Obviously, there are bigger things that you've suggested that take longer to implement than others. So just because you're seeing this come to fruition sooner doesn't mean that other things that you've suggested won't come to fruition later on. It's just a case of prioritizing and what it makes sense to work on at certain times. But yeah, hope you enjoy the brief quick look at the Apex redirect feature that is planned to come in Update 7. That is a good change for sure, says Down to Earth. Thank you. Flash Gordon says a nice feature. Love heart from Devi, that's good. Nice from Robert. Nice. I think I would count that as a net win so far, Bruce.
Yes. NetBreed asks if you could use this to extend the range of an Apex taxi with continual redirects. So as Zac mentioned, there will be a limit to this to stop precisely that.
Yeah.
Is that right, Zac?
That is correct. Yeah,
so the range daisy chain redirects forever.
The range will pretty much be taken from the original start point of the shuttle. So you'll have the same range as that. So there is a range that you can jump around in for sure, but it's not going to be unlimited.
Right. So you're not daisy chaining your way to Colonia this way.
No. Okay. Cool. So should we move on, Bruce?
Yeah, let's crack on.
Okay, so the next thing that we want to share with you or talk about is something that's we've actually been working on for quite a while, I would say, Bruce. And we're finally happy to be able to get it out the door in its first iteration. Obviously, we're looking for feedback and stuff and see how it goes. I know it's a black screen. Don't worry, chat, before you start saying anything. I'm just setting the scene. I'm just giving a bit of a backstory. So obviously, we've heard from everyone in the community that you would like to see more honest and open communication. We've said we're going to do that, and we are going to do that. And one of the things that you have been frustrated with is the issue tracker. And I guess specifically, when you submit something in the issue tracker, you kind of think, or if you vote for something on the issue tracker, you kind of think, oh, is this actually being seen by the developers? Are things on the issue tracker being worked on? So what we've put together is a issue report, which I'll put on the screen now. This is also going to be on the forums. I'm actually going to press the button for this to go live on the forums once we've gone through it. So don't worry if you can't see too clearly right now. This will be something that we will share on the forums at the same time, pretty much every time we share this. People saying the black screens are a new feature of Elite. No, that's not the case. This is the new thing they're trying out. This is our issue report. So, let's explain it, shall we, Bruce? What are we seeing on the screen right now, mate?
Sure. So what you're looking at, people, is a table with the top 20 issues as voted for by you lot from our issue tracker. We've taken all of them and we summarized it in this table, which could be very useful because we've assigned a status to the progress of each one, as well as when the release for the fix or change is due. And we're going to be updating this pretty frequently. The plan is for us to share this with you as and when it changes. That might be something like every fortnight when we do the Supercruise news. So for those who missed the announcement last week, Supercruise news is now becoming a fortnightly show. So in line with that, maybe twice a month, we could be sharing this. It may be the case that something hasn't changed a lot over 2 weeks, in which case it might be, a bit longer than that. But the point is, it's going to be frequently and regularly updated, and we're going to discuss with you the progress on all of these, just to be a bit more open about the issue tracker and things that are being worked on.
Yeah. What's a fortnight for us Americans? That's 2 weeks. That's every 2 weeks. Okay. So Ubermeg says a feature request tracker would also be good. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm aware of. But let's get this how we want it to be first. And obviously we're focusing on fixing issues at the minute. And then maybe down the line, we could also implement something similar to a feature request tracker. I do like the idea, but I think we need to nail this first. Okay, so Alstric says, does this confirm the only way to get issues looked at is to convince more than 82 people to vote for an issue? No. What this confirms is we're just showing the top 20 things on the issue tracker and giving an update, because these are the top 20 things that people, obviously these are the most voted, so it makes sense for us to give a regular update on these things. That doesn't mean that anything below this list is not being worked on at all. There's always hundreds of things that go into every update, but these are the top 20 things that are most commonly talked about, so it makes sense to talk about these ones on the stream.
Yeah, it's a good question, but yeah, we don't actually just peel from the top. We do sort of prioritize. We take the votes into account, obviously, because it's a good way for us to test sort of how important you guys think something is, compared to any other given issue. But also we prioritize based on our own sort of development schedule and own sort of opinions about the things. I think that'll be demonstrated. There's one or two changes on this list where actually we've gone, yes, this is something we're investigating, but it's not actually going to be worked on until some other things have been sorted.
Yeah, and that's something that we do want to make clear in this, is that certain things, although are voted fairly highly, are not always going to be the priority. As Bruce said, it doesn't, just because something is number 10 versus something that's number 15 doesn't necessarily mean that we believe that 10 needs the work straight away. It's going to be, we're just giving a clear indication of what we're doing behind the scenes. Dan Swerve says, could we add a link to the issue in the issue tracker? Do you mean within the table? That's a good point, actually. We can do that in the forum post. It's not going to be on this forum post, but I might be able to edit that and add that in. So each issue you'll be able to click into. That's a good point. Thank you. See, this is why we do it, Bruce. We get the feedback straight away and we can act on it.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Lord Rack77 asks how often this is going to be updated. So like we said just a couple of minutes ago, we're looking to share this with you every couple of weeks, but that will depend on how frequently it sort of is updated or changed enough to be worth sort of sharing. If we've got enough new things to discuss from the list, then yeah, it'll be with every Supercruise news.
Yeah.
Just like I said, there may be some weeks where it's basically the same. Things are still being worked on, or things are still due for the next update. So we would just, in that case, probably skip it that week and just say refer back to the table on the forums or in the previous stream where we discussed it.
Yep. Okay then. So what I'll do right now is I'll set this live on the forums. So if you want to go and have a look, you can do. It'll be in the news and bulletin section. That should be live now. It's called Elite Dangerous Issue Report, and it's got today's date on there. And what we'll do is we'll just give a quick run through, Bruce, of the things on here. We're not going to spend too long on this. You can go and look at the forum post if you want to read it. We've given detail where we can give detail, right, Bruce? But some of these things we are working on. There's not much to share, but what we have shared is the status of it and when we're planning for this thing to be rolled out, right?
Yes. Sorry, I was reading the comments and missed the first sort of part of that, but I think the answer is yes to what you said.
Yes would be a fine answer. Yeah, that's fine.
Good. Sorry, mate.
Okay, so number one, main thing on there is the most voted thing on the issue tracker is problems with lighting and illumination. We are happy to say this is now fixed. We've spent some time after update 6 monitoring this, right, Bruce? We're pretty happy with the current scenario. Is that fair to say?
Yep, that is fair to say. So people who followed update 6 when it came out will know that a lot of things changed with lighting, and we sort of put in the big change that we were hoping to, and it's improved things a lot. we spent some time watching afterwards for further feedback, and we're happy to say at this point the issue is fixed. I think we're planning on closing that. And what that's going to do actually is free up all of those votes. So anyone who voted for that issue can then redistribute those votes to other things that they consider higher priority. That's not to say we've drawn a line in the sand and just stopped taking feedback on lighting overall. But what we are saying is give us that feedback, and if you think there is a lighting related bug or issue, that you create it as a new thing and are quite specific about where it's cropping up.
Demonic Giraffe says, "How do you vote?" This is all taken from the issue tracker. So if you head over there, you will be able to vote on issues that you believe are the most pertinent, and that's basically where we're going to be gathering this top 20 table from when we share it. Okay, so number 2 is the degraded terrain textures. A lot of work went into this, and I'm sure you noticed this in update 6. The plan is, Bruce, right, to have some finishing touches in update 7, but the vast majority is already in, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. So we've made considerable improvements on this one, also in update 6. So yeah, exactly as you said, there'll be some polishing coming in update 7. And then we're planning to, similar to the first one, monitor and see how much more feedback comes through, and then we'll likely close it after a week or 2.
Yep. Thank you, Sally, for posting the link there. That's great. I didn't have the command ready because I didn't post it until we did it live on air, Bruce. We posted that forum thread live on air.
Nice.
So next up, number 3 is the tiling planetary features. So this is something that is going to be a big task. We can't say for certain when this is going to be resolved, etc. We're still looking into this, right, Bruce? This is something that we're still investigating.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is about sort of repeating patterns in some of the planets when they're generated. It's a huge piece of work is sort of the bottom line on this. So we're still taking a look at it and determining how to proceed.
Yep. Okay, number 4, low performance in Odyssey. Obviously, we're very well aware of commanders that are struggling with performance. Obviously, our apologies for that. We are continuing to work on performance throughout the year with every update. We have, we've seen some good feedback and some good improvements from the update 6 changes, but we know that it's not there. We know that we're still working on it. So, that's the current situation in terms of performance. We are, as you can see there, it's in progress. We are working on it.
Before we move on to the next one, just a big 07 to Father Bill, who's raided us on Twitch. Thank you for that. And 07 to all of the commanders that have come over from Father Bill's stream.
What does TBC mean? It means to be confirmed. Well, that's my take on it, Bruce. I don't know if you...
Yeah, TBC, you might be used to TBD, which is to be determined. Yeah. But yeah, either way, same diff. That's what it means.
Just means that we haven't really... We're not able to give you a firm date or time on that at the minute. That's all it means. Number 5, the limited gameplay during Apex shuttle rides. This is something we've talked about on stream actually a few times. We are looking into this. We put it as 2021 because it's one of those things, I guess, Bruce, that is not the biggest priority at the minute, but it is something that the dev team are aware of, and we are looking into it because we've had some fun suggestions, and obviously the dev team have got their own great ideas. So yeah, we are looking into that one.
Yeah, for sure. This is one of those issues that's actually exacerbated by things like not being able to redirect.
Yes.
Say you make, you call a taxi, you hop in, and then you realize, oh, I'm in the wrong suit, or yeah, I need to pick up some supplies, or I wish I'd done something else before making the trip. And then you have to sit there throughout it. It's just going to feel a lot longer, even if it's the same length as it would have been.
Yeah.
That's not to say once we put the redirect in, we're going to stop looking at this. That's not the idea. But hopefully it will go some way to help while we think about other things we can do.
Yep. Number 6, the game currently hanging on exit sometime. So this is currently under investigation. This is one that we are aiming for update 7. But if anything was going to, maybe push to the following updates, it might be this one, right, Bruce? Because it's another one that is not a massive priority at the minute. Obviously, it's something we're looking to solve, but it's not something that is a massive priority at the minute.
Yep.
Number 7, Bruce. This old chestnut. The
Number 07.
number oh 07, the
Of course.
invincible Fargoid Heart, which I've been aware of since I joined Frontier, and it's something that I'm sure a lot of commanders have been aware of for way before that. We know that it's a long-standing issue. It has a very complex cause, or we believe it does. That's why it's still being investigated. We put out a forum post last week, I believe, basically asking for players to help us really in helping to resolve these issues. If you can check that out in the news and bulletin section, if you do want to help us by submitting things like netlogs and videos. Specifically, interestingly, with this one, we believe it might be related, or it might have an increased chance of happening if you are playing internationally and you're fighting against a Fargoid when in a team with other commanders from a different country. So if you do have some friends that play Elite in different countries and you do want to help us out, this might be a really good one to try and see if you can replicate whilst playing internationally, because that is something that we've picked up might be the case. But yeah, that's
sure.
an interesting little tidbit.
Yeah, so we know, like Zach said, we know it's been an infamous issue for quite a long time. We do intend to work on it and get it sorted. If it is the case that, the international aspect is part of the cause, then that's maybe part of the reason it's been so hard for us to nail down.
Yeah.
We can't test it and reproduce it by sending someone internationally to. You get the idea. It's a complex networking thing. We are working on it. If you have any information or you're interested in AXI combat and are willing to help, please go find that forum post and send us any details that might be useful.
Yep. Heather has put that in the YouTube chat. Maybe someone's put it in Twitch. It's called. Oh no, Heather's talking about a different one. It's called I believe it's called Issue Tracker Assistance Request or something like that on news and bulletins. I can't remember exactly, but that's what you're looking for. Number 8, Bruce. In at number 8 is anti-aliasing. So we know that it's not working correctly. This is something that is in progress in terms of a fix. So some changes will go into update 7 or 8, Bruce, if I'm reading that correctly, with some significant improvements. But it looks like we've got a full anti-aliasing system slated for later this year. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly right. So we've put this as 2021, even though some stuff is likely to go in update 7 or 8. That will just be sort of incremental improvements with a sort of larger thing to come that will represent a significant anti-aliasing sort of system later.
Okay, number 9 and 10. So these two, we have not started yet. We're just gonna, in terms of our being open and honest, this is something we've not started looking properly into yet. Just in terms of priorities, especially number 9, we are going to look into it eventually, but at the minute that's not a priority. Number 10, the telemetry stuff. That is something that we are discussing internally, right, Bruce? But we may still decide against it. But if it does happen, it's not going to be before update 8 at least, right, Bruce?
Yes, exactly. My knowledge and understanding of all the telemetry stuff is very limited.
Same.
But what I do know is that there may be some reasons that we would decide against it. So it's something we are discussing internally. More to be sort of shared on this when we have more.
Yep. Okay, in at number 11 is no interceptors in NHSS signals. So this has been, I'm aware that this has been one for a while that players like AXI have been asking about. So with this one, we've put it here as in progress and update 7. This is one we think is fixed, Bruce. It still needs to go through some further QA testing before we can confirm that and say it's going to be in update 7. We think we've got the fix. It just needs to be confirmed by QA.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Number 12. At number 12, we've got increased performance problems since update 5. Again, this is similar to, obviously, the other performance vote, but obviously we're aware that update 5 may have caused some different performance issues for some players. More, again, we can say the same thing, more optimizations and more improvements coming in update 7. It's worth noting that the coming change won't be a fix for everybody, but it will resolve some of the drops that players are seeing.
Yeah, much like the low FPS change and one of the other changes, I can't remember which one, where we said, I think anti-aliasing, where improvements are coming in the next update or two, but we know that there are bigger sort of resolutions that need to be implemented, and they will come later down the line.
Yeah. Okay, number 13, we've got the Stuck in Supercruise with the 0 time. I've witnessed this. I know that this is a thing. We are investigating this one. Don't currently. I mean, we're aiming for update 7, but this is another one. You know, that's the planned release. But we are still investigating that one. Number 14, fleet carrier modules and finances not calculated towards assets. This one is in progress and it's slated for update 7. Not much more to say about that one, Bruce, unless you do.
Nope. That pretty much covers it, to be fair.
Where am I? Number 15, the NPC fighter kills in conflict zones count as progression. We are currently investigating this. Nothing more to say at the moment in terms of when or if a fix might come for that. Number 16, support missions have been culled. This is looking to be unculled in update 7. I don't know if you've got any other information on that, Bruce, but as far as I know, it's just going to be resolved for update 7.
Yep, no, I think you've done that one justice, mate. I can't really add anything to it.
A lot of these ones further down, to be honest, we don't have too much information. We're just going to tell you how it is. So number 17, the codex entry missing. We are investigating this, but it is lower priority, as you can probably appreciate. We are obviously investigating, but it's not going to be something that is done overnight compared to some of the other things that we've got to look at.
Yes, if I remember correctly, I think this is quite a specific thing. So it might be some biological the players can scan. I don't remember exactly what it affects, but yeah, truth be told, it's something we want to fix, and we're looking into it, but it's not going to come before most of the other things on this list.
Yep. Number 18, system and galaxy map misalignment in widescreen aspect ratios. This one is in progress, but it is unlikely for update 7. It'll probably be coming after that. Number 19, stolen tritium donations that can't be donated to a fleet carrier's fuel depot. This one is fixed for update 7, and so is missions and rewards not sharing with the team. That is also fixed and should arrive in update 7. So that is the first iteration of the issue report. This may change. We're looking for your feedback. If you have feedback, please give it on the forum thread for this. We're looking to see how exactly this works best and how it would work for you, and what sort of things maybe are missing from what we've done that you would like to see. But I do think this is a good step in the right direction, and hopefully you agree with us that I'm really a fan of this. I think this is great. not tooting our own horn or anything, but I think this is a good step. This is the sort of thing that we do know that we want to do and we should be doing more of. So yeah, I'm happy with this, Bruce, if you are.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully this goes some way to show that we're walking the walk when it comes to what we said before about being a bit more open and honest about the game's development and what's going on behind the scenes. Arthur has quite famously said before, no news is worse than bad news. And there will be times where there's a problem on this table that just needs more time or isn't being prioritized because we're working on other things, or some issue has come up that's made it slip. That's just the way game development is. But that will be reflected in the table, and when that is the case, we'll tell you. Hopefully you'll take that in good faith.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked a lot about everything that's happening in the world of Elite Dangerous development. We're almost certainly not going to have time to play any games, but that's fine. I mean, I much prefer when we can actually, talk to you all and tell you about things that happen in the game. That's fine. We've got some community stuff to go, but before we move on to community stuff, Bruce, in terms of Update 7, do we have any kind of window, I guess, at this point?
We do. So kind of you get to tee me up. I was going to ask if you wanted to share the news, but sure. So like a few of you have said in the chat, Update 7 is actually looking pretty beefy, and that's just in relation to some of these fixes which are going in. So if we hit each of these, and we may not, like we said before, things slip, things change. We might not hit all 9 of these, which are slated for Update 7. But if we do, they will be coming next month, is when we're shooting for. Mm-hmm. When we have a more specific date, we'll share it with you guys when we're able to sort of pinpoint, and we're a bit close to the time we can tell you the week and hopefully eventually the day that it's expected. But for now, we're telling you that you can expect it in September.
Yep. Okay then, Bruce. That was
also just
cool.
to clarify, that's not everything that's going in Update 7. There's other stuff.
Yeah.
That's just these things from this top 20 list. There's going to be other issues that are being fixed. There's going to be other content and updates. But yes, in relation to these, that's when it's happening, and that's what's going to be in it.
Yep. So, as we said, that's all the development information that we've got for you today on Supercruise News. We are going to move into the community segment next. So, as we've said before in the past, if you come here for your development information, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope this is a good first step. This is one of the main reasons why we decided to make Supercruise News bi-weekly. I'm hoping you're starting to see some of that come to fruition in terms of it basically gives us more time to be able to put stuff together like the Apex redirect that we talked about, and obviously put stuff together like this table in terms of, significant updates. If we did this every week, it's less likely that things might change, because a lot of these are things that take, more than a week to fix, and they're ongoing issues. So hopefully you can start to see why we've made the decisions, and we're still obviously taking feedback on board. But that was our development section of Supercruise News, and now, Bruce, we're gonna kick back and we're gonna look at some of the great stuff the community have been up to.
Yeah, excellent. So the last time we did the Supercruise News, we announced obviously that it was switching to once every 2 weeks, but also that we're going to focus more on game news and fewer community bits. Well, no, that's not true. It was on the Thursday that we announced it, and then people said, "Oh, actually, but that's when you tend to share community bits, and we'd like to see that every week." So we're going to be doing that now, and even on the days where we're not having a Supercruise News, we'll be sharing community news and stuff, just so that, well, no one gets left out, so we can continue sharing things like the stellar screenshots and other bits that you guys get up to. So yeah, speaking of beautiful stellar screenshots, is that where we're going next?
We can do, if you want to jump straight to the stellar screenshot. That was almost a great segue.
It nearly was, but I think I missed it.
We'll get to it. The plan at this point is probably to end the show on the stellar screenshots, considering the time. But we'll get there. Don't worry, Bruce. We'll get there.
Okay. All right. I'm excited for it, but before that, we have other exciting bits from the community.
We do. So we're going to start with some classic Supercruise News creative stuff. We've got a nice 3D print of an Imperial cutter. This one's by Realm Lord on Reddit. We've actually got a few pictures of this one, Bruce, and very nicely done. I like the detail with the paint as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Very, very nice. There's something very appealing about the cutter. It's a very slick looking ship, so a great choice.
It is a great choice. And got one more here with a nice lighting effect as well. Very nice. What have we got next? We've got a friend of Commander Azimek49 on Reddit, so they're not taking credit for this. They had a very sleek Gutermeyer engraved wine glass made to celebrate their 3rd year of service. I don't know how you feel about this, Bruce, but it seems like, and I might be pronouncing this wrong, chat, you tell me, it seems like Gutermeyer is always the brand that is used in this kind of thing. I see it on like caps, I see it on anything like this. It tends to always be Gutermeyer.
I think Gutermeyer just comes across as a very high class premium brand.
Yeah.
Because they produce ships like the cutter. It just sort of makes sense. It's kind of, I don't know, is it the Gucci of the elite world?
I think it might be,
Maybe it is.
Or in terms of manufacturing, I guess it would be like a Rolls Royce or something like that.
Yeah, kind of. It is kind of the Rolls. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mercedes. Yeah, lots of good comparisons here. It's kind of sort of, I don't know, it's Hugo Boss, it's Emporio Armani,
Yep.
But that said, chat, if you were wearing swag of a brand in Elite Dangerous, in Universe, where would you get your swag from? So you're replacing your Nikes and your Adidas and all that other stuff. What are you wearing instead? I like Falcon de Lacy. It's got some style to it.
Yep, I like Falcon de Lacy. I believe they make the ships that I appreciate the most, so I would probably rep them.
Okay. Someone saying Remlock. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I can Lavian Brandy, but with sort of the Jacks. The classic black and white Jacks t-shirt.
Yeah.
But have that with Lavian Brandy
Nice.
instead.
Nice.
That could be cool. Lacon Anything says Vault, Core Dynamics. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's
But
probably
I
people
don't
that
want to just
fit
hear
into
brands. I want to
everything.
hear sort of what the swag is as well. So if you come up with a
Oh, right.
merchandise idea, match it to the brand and tell me, like, I want to wear a Gutamaya hat or something.
Are you going to be
I'm
making notes of these responses, Bruce?
maybe. No, I don't want to set the expectation that I'm going to set up a whole like merch line. But it is always cool to know what people think would be nice to wear.
Yeah.
But yes, anyway, I do like the glass very much.
Very nice.
I have another question, which is, if Gutamaya made a beverage, what kind of beverage would it be?
Oh, it would be
I think it's probably a
like
fine wine, isn't it?
or a slow gin or something exquisite. It has to be expensive and cultured.
Something cultured and expensive. Yeah, I think you're right. Okay.
Maybe we
should move on.
Okay, next up, this is a really cool poster. This one is from Scheme Huge 4726 on Reddit. I've not seen this before. Sally said was questioning whether this was old or not, and I don't think it is. I don't think it's awesome. I don't care if it is old. I've never seen this before. Obviously, this is a rendition of the Jaws poster, featuring a anaconda and a very small sidewinder there that is in a bit of danger.
I'm in danger. Yeah, it's a very clever poster. I like this a lot.
Very
nice work.
Next up, we got a video. This one's from Commander Kane Blackburn. Let me know about the audio chat. Hopefully it's fine. It's just them going through a Lagrange storm. I always like to show these off, Bruce, because they are one of my favourite things in Elite, because they are scary.
Yeah, no, they look incredible, but terrifying at the same time.
And especially how it messes with the HUD elements as well. I always love when some parts of Elite do that. When you get close to one of the exposed reactors on a damaged station, it does the same thing. So if you're ever around the damaged station, I would head up to the reactor, and you can see it's almost like a light blue spinning energy source. And you'll notice if you get close, your HUD will start really freaking out, and it's a similar effect that you see in these Lagrange storms. Really cool video.
Very, very nice. English Gent has just said a Frontline Solutions leather flight jacket. Yes, that's exactly the kind of thing I meant. That would look great.
Nice.
You could totally imagine that in universe as well, right? Sort of a military bomber jacket sort of feel with Frontline Solutions sort of represent the mercenary stuff.
Yeah. Batman says hood or hood. That's probably just my accent. Do you say them the same? You say them same no matter what the accent, don't you? Like heads up display, hood, and
I would call it a HUD.
Oh, HUD.
HUD.
HUD and a hood. I guess that's how I'll pronounce it from now on.
I think you're saying hood, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm saying hood for both things.
Yeah.
I suppose I'll correct myself. Sorry, Batman.
No, I don't think you're incorrect.
It's just my accent.
Just the accent. I wondered why you said their name like Batman.
Because that is how it's.
But that is how it's spelled.
It's not just Batman, it's Batman.
Yes, indeed. No one can tell who it is.
Okay. Next up, a couple of things that you might want to check out if you're looking for something to do in Elite Dangerous. So, first up, we have got, let me find it, the Fill the Glass event, which is a brand new event hosted by the Soteria Accord. Kicked off this week, and they are recruiting efforts to calm the nerves of a needy barkeep as they request help with acquiring ample beverage supply for a forthcoming shindig. You can learn more about how to join in by heading over to the forums. If you use !glass on Twitch, you'll head over to the forum thread. It's basically a time trial race, Bruce, where you have to basically deliver some beverages.
Right. Yes. Well, I'm in favor of that. They have my full support, and I would encourage anyone who's interested to go check that out. Do we know where they can go if they want to get involved?
Yeah, !glass will send you to the forum thread. It's in. I think it's in the events section. It's made by Psychic. so you'll be able to find it there.
Very nice.
Okay, next up we've got a video for you. So this is a really cool sort of advertisement video that was made by the Exodus Coalition. They are a squadron that predominantly plays on Xbox and PC, and they have various divisions. So no matter what you're interested in the world of Elite Dangerous, you probably could find someone who wants to do the same thing in this one. So I'll play the video. If you want to find out more about them, you can head to the Inara page using !Exodus in the chat. But we'll be back in a few minutes. Enjoy.
All the beauty in your face, when all the anger separates us. Smile when you're not afraid to die, but I'm afraid with each goodbye. Lost the sun above my head, lost myself in things I said, and why is all you've ever seen your why behind the screen, and all it means to me. And you and I'm forgiven, I'm forgiven. When you've been gone, lost in the lapse again, lost in the lapse again, I'm forgiven. You've been gone, lost in the lapse again, lost in the lapse.
Nice. So that was the video that the Exodus Coalition put together. I think it's pretty nifty, especially right at the end when it starts kicking in. They show off some combat skills that I could only dream of, Bruce.
Yeah, very nifty by them indeed. Nicely put together.
Yeah, so if you do want to find out more, !Exodus will head you over to the Inara page for that squadron. So yeah, thank you for sending that our way. English. Okay, final thing for today then is, of course, stellar screenshots. So let's get started. The first one is from... In fact, before I get started, let me explain how this is going to work. So some people have asked if, we missed stellar screenshots because we didn't have Supercruise news. So as Bruce alluded to at the start of the stream, today we're going to be showing the Supercruise, the stellar screenshots from 2 weeks ago. on Thursday, we will show the latest set of stellar screenshots. But then after this week, we're going to be back to normal. So every Tuesday from next week, we'll be showing the latest stellar screenshots. So just this week, they'll be on both streams, just so that we can catch up, because we listened to your feedback and we heard that you want stuff like stellar screenshots to be shown no matter what. We do on a Tuesday, so we will be doing that moving forward. But just to catch up this week, we're going to have 2 sets of stellar screenshots. So, Bruce, do you want to give us the spiel? Stellar screenshots, what is it? How do you enter, etc.?
The spiel. Sure, always happy to do some spiel, especially for stellar screenshots. So stellar screenshots is our weekly competition. You don't need to treat it as a competition as such if you don't want. But what it is, in short, is Elite Dangerous is a beautiful game, and you guys like taking screenshots of it, and we like seeing them. So every week we post threads with our favorite screenshots from that week, and we call them the stellar screenshots. We post these on the forums, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And then in the replies to those, people submit their latest screenshots. And so it's a continuous cycle that we share every week, just to appreciate your in-game camera skills. So that's it in a nutshell. Anyone that does get featured on stream or in those posts will win one of 3 exclusive paint jobs for the Aspect Explorer. That's it, really. Nice.
Apox says, so the ones on stream are still going to be a week after they're announced. Yeah, so they're going to be on the Tuesdays, so they'll still always be they'll be tweeted out on the Wednesday, and then the following Tuesday they'll be shown on stream as normal. That's the plan.
Yeah, playing catch up this week. But yes, in the normal way, obviously we do the Tuesday stream, and stellar screenshots go out on a Wednesday or a Thursday?
Wednesday.
So we show the week before.
Yep. Okay, so first up this week, or 2 weeks ago I should say, is Commander Beast 9119. I always love, so as a bit of a behind the scenes of how we do these Supercruise, Sally actually does a really great job of compiling a lot of the community stuff. And she also gives us a nice description of these screenshots as well. Her description for this one, I'll read it word for word because I can't think of a better way of describing this one, is hot rocks in space, what's not to love? So yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. Well done, Sally. Well done, Beast, for the submission. Anything you want to add, Bruce, to that?
I think that sums it up beautifully.
Very nice. Next up, this one is from Elfena. It looks like they've been getting a bit creative with, I'm assuming that's a shield grenade on some kind of organic stuff, Bruce. I mean, it's very interesting shot. It's new.
Yeah, no, they found some veiny lumps coming out of the ground, and I think you're right. They've put a shield grenade up over it for a pretty cool effect. So
cool.
Nice and inventive by them. Well done.
Yep. Next up, this one is from Commander Eralm 237. This is a great shot. I mean, I want to know where this is. We've got a nice SRV wreckage right in the foreground, which you kind of don't even see at first. Your eyes immediately go to the two planets in the background, or the moon and the planet, and then you just wait. There's a what happened here? There's a wrecked SRV at the front of the shot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on for sure. But no, you're absolutely right about the focal point actually being at the back, which is kind of interesting. Just those 2 huge round planets,
very
which
cool.
almost look like they're touching.
They do. They do look a bit like the famous monetary brand logo that I won't say because I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I think so.
They make cards.
Yeah, no, I thought that's yeah.
Other cards are available.
I see it.
Okay, next up, this one's from Commander Fred 89210. It's always nice to see one of these stations that are around a asteroid belt. They always make for a nice stellar screenshot, right, Bruce? This is one of the staples.
Yes, yeah, most certainly.
See people giving scores out of 10 for each picture as they go by in chat. All you need to know, chat, is that these people won. These people are the...
Yeah, I was going to say, I see the scores, but frankly, I think they're pretty harsh critics. These images have already I don't want to say beaten the rest, because that's not a fair way to think about it.
They've
Obviously,
achieved greatness.
yeah, they've achieved greatness, because when we pick these out, it's our own sort of personal
Yeah.
preferences and what we like, and whoever's sort of choosing that week. But yeah, feel free to put numbers on them if you want. But the truth is, all of these are already winners.
Some people in chat saying, I think this is Horses for Each, Houses for Each. Might pronounce that wrong if you want to go check that out. Okay, next up is from Commander Madaxo, who I believe has been featured a few times actually on Stellar Screenshots. This is a Sally shot. Very pink, looks like a Type 10, maybe a Type 9. I believe it's a Type 10 because of the spoiler. But yeah, it's very nice colour of the thrusters, and going straight into that slot, Bruce. That reminds me a bit of our antics last week.
It doesn't remind me of that at all. This is night and day. But yeah, no, really nice shot here. Classic Madaxo going crazy with the color and producing a really nice image there. Well done to that commander.
Yeah, Type 10 says chat. Thank you very much. Next up, this is from Commander Metzi. This looks like a python to me in the foreground. Doing a bit of mining there, Bruce. With a very nice star in the background. Sally said that it's always exciting to see an explosion in space, and that she's sure this is Paul's reasoning for the choice. As you know, chat, and I do try to give you hints and tips when we can, Paul does like to see screenshots that feature fire, destruction, explosion, that kind of thing. So it's always a bit of a keep it in the back of your mind. If you want to get featured, might be a good way of doing so. You like this one, Bruce?
Yeah, big fan of this. I think we had a similar shot I don't know how many weeks ago it was, but not that long ago, where an asteroid was being exploded, and that's always a nice thing. If you can capture it well, then that's great.
Yeah.
I think I've also said in the past I really like monochromatic pictures with maybe one or two elements which have color in them, and they've got that there with the thrusters.
You're right.
So yeah, big fan of this. Nice capture by Commander Metzi. Well done.
Next up, this one's from Commander Monohive. This is another one of those shots that just sell the game for you, almost. It's just, this is a ridiculous screenshot. Well done, Monohive. You've done a great job there with the SRV in the foreground, and you've framed it perfectly with the sort of horizon that you can see of the surface, and then the planet in the background. Love it. Yeah,
very cool. I like the sparsity of the stars in the distance, so you know they're quite far out from the center of the galaxy.
Yeah,
probably quite a way out. Makes a really nice effect for the background.
Yeah. Commander Comtrider says this is an ED advertisement picture. Exactly, like we don't make this. Is not our stuff. This is stuff that you are all doing in the game. It's incredible to see. We love it. Next up, this one's from Commander Radium. Another action shot here, Bruce. They've done what you were saying earlier about the explosion one. They've caught it right at the perfect moment. Yeah,
this is really, really well done. I don't know what else I can add to describe it. It just it's a perfectly timed capture, really.
Yeah, and they've used good use of the blur toggle to sort of make sure the focus is on the commander at the front. Great stuff. Next up, this is from Commander Roshan the Sheep. This is another Paul favourite. The old gloomy green atmosphere that you can get in some areas. You got the ship lurking there in the background. What type of ship is that?
It's hard to see from here.
It's got a strange sort of.
I was going to say DBX, but I don't think it's sort of boxy enough.
No, it looks a bit like a DBX. It looks a bit like a.
Could be an adder. Or a. People saying DBX.
A lot of people saying DBX.
That's what I thought initially, but okay.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but either way, amazing shot.
Yes, lots of atmosphere. It's sort of palpable in this sort of that. It's reminiscent of Alien, the green mist in the beginning, and sort of a desolate planet or settlement area. Yeah, nicely done.
I'm not sure chat know what it is. They've not really suggested any ship type yet.
I think the consensus is that it's likely to be a DBX.
No, I was being sarcastic, but that's fine.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought you just genuinely were suddenly
We were
Unable
flooded.
to read.
We were flooded with DBX as soon as we questioned what it could potentially be.
Sorry, my sarcasm detector failed,
No,
and my
that's my
brain just
fault.
went. I suppose Zac is just suddenly illiterate.
It's possible, mate. It is possible.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, this one's from Commander Vector 883. Very up close and personal with what looks to be a Thargoid, right? Chat, again, tell me if I'm wrong. That looks to be a Thargoid. I assume, from what I can tell from the image.
Yeah, it looks like a Thargoid to me. I like the way the image is composed. So having the bulk of the image taken up by the ship, and then sort of almost all of the rest of it by the Thargoid, creates a really sort of confrontational feel.
Yeah.
Because it's everything that's going on in the picture is this face off between the two.
Yeah.
The
really
two
cool.
things. It's got a nice sort of duality to it as well. So the ship represents sort of humanity, technology, artificial, whereas the ship, obviously Thargoids are known for their sort of flower, biological, organic sort of, it's almost sort of man versus nature kind of thing.
That's it.
But taken to an extreme because it's in space, sort of the final frontier. Really nice capture here with sort of very deep but subtle horror undertones in the image. That's because of like the lighting coming from the ship. So in the same way, you're in a dark corridor or whatever in a horror movie, you shine the flashlight, there's the monster. But it's exactly that kind of feel as well. Lots going on here. Big fan of this. Well done to Commander Vector 883.
And that concludes this week's Stellar Screenshots. So there'll be more on Thursday. If you're expecting yourself to be on today's stream, you'll be on Thursday. And then we'll be back to normal on the following Tuesday. And with the end of Stellar Screenshots, we also reach the end of today's stream. So let's cut back to just myself and Bruce. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. As a quick recap, if you are late in and you think you might want to go back and watch the VOD or rewind, at the start, we talked a bit about the Apex redirect feature that is going to be coming or planned to come in Update 7. We talked a bit about how that is currently planned to work, and we showed off some work in progress UI shots of that. Again, thank you to Carmen and the UI team for sharing those with us. We then talked about our new issue tracker report, which you can now see on the forums. That's in the news and discussion section, news and bulletin section of the forums. So please do head over there and give us your feedback, positive or negative, as long as it's constructive. That's all we ask. And please, let us know what you think about that. It's a work in progress. We're always listening to what you want to see, and melding that with what we think is correct, and making the best step forward for everyone, right, Bruce? That's the plan.
Yes, exactly right. As we mentioned earlier, Update 7 is planned for next month. If that changes, we'll let you know. We would encourage you to check out the forum post if you want to reiterate all of the things we discussed about that top issues table.
Yep. So, thank you everybody for joining us. We will hopefully find somebody to raid, so please stick around for that. And of course, as always, if we do raid somebody, please be friendly and please be kind. And Bruce, any final words, any sign off for today?
Only the usual. So thank you so much for having me on, Zac, and thank you all for watching. We always appreciate you being here and supporting us. We'll catch you in the next stream on Thursday. Until then, 07 Commanders, have a lovely evening, or afternoon or morning, wherever you are.
07 Commanders.
07. Bye-bye.